Radio used to be regulated to safeguard the public interest. In fact, the first major federal regulatory structure, which eventually gave rise to the FCC, was created a century ago to ensure that the public interest, especially public safety, was served. Since the 1980s, radio has been continually deregulated based on the assumption that market interest is equal to or greater than public interest. The market has responded predictably. Conglomeration of ownership and homogenization of programming have increased dramatically. The golden age of radio, in which we heard a healthy balance of local and national programming and a wide range of content, is now decades behind us. In the meantime, and closer to home, Lexington often seems like a shining example of how to be a city. Compared to other like-sized cities, we have a high employment rate, low crime rate, and a very well-educated workforce. But many people are still falling behind, especially among our Latino and African American neighbors. And as income inequality grows and government-funded aid shrinks, it's upon our community, it's on us to find meaningful ways to involve more of our people, all of our people, in Lexington's success story. In response to the predominance of big box radio, President Obama signed and the Congress passed the Local Community Radio Act in 2011. It directed the FCC to issue low-power FM licenses to community nonprofits across America. In Lexington, we began to investigate and then work toward the possibility of building our own. We knew that other groups might be applying for the available frequencies. In fact, religious nonprofits make up the plurality of low-power FM applicants nationwide. So, we did our homework. After months exploring the feasibility of this project, we hired a media attorney and applied as a public safety-oriented nonprofit. This allowed us to apply for 2 licenses and provided the FCC with further evidence that we are truly interested in serving the community. Now we're really rolling. We've been granted 2 construction permits, and we're starting work on our studios. We've partnered up with Lexington STEAM Academy, BCTC, city government, and institutions across central Kentucky, and we're developing partnerships with many others. And we've been defining ourselves, refining our model throughout this process. We're all about public wellness, local information, and entertainment that's good for all Lexingtonians, without missing the people who are too often left in the cold. Imagine getting to hear your daughter, nephew, granddaughter at a holiday concert performance or poetry competition or middle school basketball game on the radio, and knowing your friends and family members can share in it by turning on the radio or hopping on our website. With LCR in town, the chances of that just went up dramatically. And not a 12-second TV news excerpt of it or a cute photo in the paper, the whole dang thing. Imagine a cadre of citizen journalists providing us everything from citywide, detailed road conditions in the winter to the numerous public celebrations of summer. Imagine the long-term beneficial effects of connecting hundreds of volunteers with training and exposure to technologies that they wouldn't otherwise get. I am proud to say we're tuning up community wellness with our programming. We're tuning up community opportunity with our program. And in the process, we're tuning up community in Lexington. If you think we've already have enough community, I'm sorry to have wasted our time. We're running an all-volunteer station. We have a small staff, a great board, steering committee, and we're developing a great community and youth advisory board to help us engage people across Lexington. We took on the added but necessary challenge of twin stations so that we can broadcast and connect in English and in Spanish. Now, as we've raised enough to start building and equipping our studios, we look forward to securing our first 5 years of operation. We're reaching out to people all over the city for help. Us versus them isn't working well for anyone. Not in Washington, D.C., not in Ferguson, Missouri, and not in Lexington, Kentucky. LCR is building community, stakeholder by stakeholder, and guess what? We're all stakeholders in this. Although we've got most of what we need to start building, there's much more. We need computers, we need software, plus CD players and music to play on them. We want to strengthen our public safety role with backup generators. We'll need 3 of them, plus installation, to keep us broadcasting during the worst weather, just when we'll be needed the most. We'd like you to play a big role in our first big year. We're enlisting 100 Lexington Centurions from Lexington leaders like you to invest $1,000 each. As we approach this goal, Lexington Community Radio will be able to start off on a firm footing with a mandate from our investors to start building the bridges our community needs. I hope you will join me in this great new Lexington endeavor.